Yo, what is up, guys? Joker bringing you another video for the 3.27 Keepers of the Flame League with our day 5 recap. Now, since nothing's really changed about the character, I figured I would make this video more currency centric, right? Because of the fact that we broke a milestone. We got over 104 div sitting in our stash, right? We went ahead and liquidated a bunch of stuff and just transitioned into actually buying mirror shards. And then we have like a bunch of stuff left in scarabs and stuff like that. That's what the other portion of that 104 div is. But I wanted to go ahead and make this video more currency centric because I see that a lot of people are struggling with currency this league, and I understand why. In over a million mobs killed, I've only found 11 raw divines, right? Like if we go kills, I've killed 1.1 million creatures and I've found 800 C and 11 divines. Like that is insane. I think it's even less than that because I think I got a divine from the tree once. So I either got a divine from the tree once or twice. So those don't count. So I think I've only gotten like 9, which is crazy. We are getting like so much less currency than we normally do. But if that's the case, how do I have over 100 div? Well, that's what I'm going to go over with you guys real quick. So first and foremost, passive income is something that you always need. You want to have 1 to 2 sets of mappers running in King's March 100% of the time while you're online, as well as you want to have your crops growing. You actually do get enough gold to sustain this perfectly fine, right? They did go ahead and increase the amount of gold where my King's March is never shut down. Right now, I have 300k in there, and I'm constantly recombinating gear and using the auction house. So, like, get your map runners up and running. You can afford it, and it is going to be a lot of passive income because you've seen people. I pulled a lock out of it, I pulled a headhunter out of it. You've seen people pull mirrors out of it. Like, there's just so much that you get from having the map runners running. You get so much passive currency. It's literally a no-brainer. You have to be doing it. You're missing out on so much if you don't have map runners running alongside you. The next thing is going to be the currency exchange and the async trade house. Make sure that you always have trades set up, especially if you're getting off for the night. Even if you don't feel like something might sell, throw it into a tab, set it for a price, and worst case scenario, some of it won't sell, but best case scenario, a lot of it will. This stash tab was full. So all of these are sold gifts, the womb gifts, right? And if we go into the sales history, you can see sold, 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 sold. Like you can see that they actually do sell. And then I've just been throwing in my T17s as well, right? So as you can see, we also sold some other maps that are 8 modded and corrupted, and then we sold more womb gifts for 20 and 15C. And the vast majority of these are actually from when I'm offline, right? I usually wake up to a few hundred C. Now, moving on from passive income, the Atlas strategy that I've currently been running is Harbies. I've been doing a mix of Harbies and a bunch of stuff. I've been doing Harvey's and Abyss. I've been doing Harvey and Beyond. And yeah, I'm just now trying to run Curec missions, see if that Harvest and Harvest Beast strategy from last league is still viable. But yeah, this is the Atlas that I was running. This will be linked in the description as well, obviously. And if you go back to day 1 to 3 or day 4, I have atlases and scarabs in that description as well. So you'll be able to go ahead and you progress alongside me, right? Because it goes from like 3 scarabs to 4 scarabs to 5 scarabs. So you can see the progression in the atlases and the scarabs and the investment I was using to how I was scaling it up to make more and more currency, right? Every time I hit a certain threshold, unlocked another slot on my map device. That way I could put more juice on the map. That should be one of your number one priorities is getting your completion as high as possible. That way you have as many favorite slots as well as all of your watchstones and the high completion, right? So you have a lot of points to put into the Atlas itself. That is a top priority as well. Now, the third thing that I have been doing is crafting gear. So with the crafting gear, we've been using womb gifts to get generic bases, and then we've been slamming them together with the Recombinator. That's how we've made all of our gear, right? That's how we made our gloves. That's how we made our chest plate. It's how we made our rings. It's how we made our shield. It's how we made our amulet. It's how we made our helmet. And if we go ahead and take a look, these are all bases that have either, T1 prefixes or T1 suffixes or suppression or intelligence, like a mixture of those, right? Because the end result on our helmet would be a hybrid helmet that has high percent ES evasion, flat ES evasion, and then suffixes would be things like suppression. I may essence craft some of them so we can get the RMR, and then a third resist, right? No, or int, right? So we have a couple combinations that we could actually go for with these helmets. And if we just go ahead and type suppress, you can see what I mean when I'm like, some of them just have suppression. The other thing that you can hit is you can hit some pretty nice fractures on some pretty nice bases. I'm going to demonstrate it and show you my tree here real quick. But essentially, you want to make sure that you are using item level 83 wombs, because when you do this, it has a higher priority of being put on a better base as well as rolling higher tier mods. At this part, that's determined, right? Like I am getting no lower than T3 mods on my gear, and you'll see after this little run. So what we're doing right now, because we're going for body armors and helmets, we have the points allocated for body armor and helmets. Over here, we have 300% int and 300% dex and reduced strength to try to get us as many hybrid bases as possible. We want basic nurturing because this can give us 30% quality on our gear. It can over quality. We have reduced physical modifiers. That way we don't have to deal with like the shitty thorns modifiers. We have birth equipment roll sockets and links 150 times, keeping the best outcome. Just in case we hit like a fractured 6 link, it's something that we can easily sell if it's not something we plan on using. When I usually do boots, gloves, helmets, I normally don't take this, but because we are doing chest plates as well right now, that's why we're taking it. Then we have reduced attack modifiers. This is going to reduce the amount of attack modifiers that we can get on our chest plate and helmet. So let's go ahead and actually take a look at those. So over here, we went to Craft of Exile and we put in a Dex Int helmet. And then we clicked attack modifiers to see the modifiers that we're getting rid of. And essentially, the reason why we're doing this is look how fat these weightings are, right? These are some pretty common modifiers. So, with us reducing it by the 85%, it allows some of the rare mobs like suppression and attributes to show up more often. Then we have solid cyst. This is for the 33 GG fractures, right? 33% to get a good fracture. We have reduced life modifiers because we are going for defensive modifiers, ES and evasion, right? Then over here, we don't need any of these. If you're trying to get like a specific resistance, you can go ahead and slap one of these on, right? Like if you want to get chaos res on your chest plate, you can go ahead and spec this point. Same for the lightning, fire, and cold. Uh, I don't recommend doing the physical, like unless you're doing a strength chest plate and for like fizz reduction, right? Is the only thing I can think of. With this, there's no crit mods. We don't want any attack mods. There's no caster mods, and there's no speed mods, so we don't take those. And then over here, same thing. You can take one of these, but what this will do is it will increase the chance of this modifier by a lot. So when you're looking for rare modifiers like suppression, you don't want to really increase the chances of other modifiers rolling over the suppression, do you? So that's why we're not taking that. And then these points, 50% chance for an additional item, the value rerolls, and modifier rating, right? So those 3 points are important. Now, with that out of the way, let's go ahead and start impregnating this tree real quick. And then you'll be able to see some of the items, as well as if we get, okay, look, there's a 6 link necrotic armor. Oh, look, there's a 6 link sadist garb. This is why 6 links were so cheap immediately, by the way, right? So let's go ahead and pop our last one. And this is the fun part where we get to go ahead and go through all of these items and see what's good and what's not. So I'll be right back. Okay, and we are back. So these are all the bases that we ended up with from that set of gift wombs, right? If we go ahead and take a look at some of the notable stuff, let's type suppression as an example. This chest plate itself has not only cold res, fire res, suppression, it has fractured T1, it has fractured T1 evasion. So all you have to do is hit it like hit it with 1 or 2 Eldritch Chaos, and you can finish the prefixes on this super easy. And it's already 5 linked, right? There's a bunch of stuff that just comes with super good modifiers on it just because of how the tree works, right? So we got a bunch of suppression bases, we got several intelligence bases, and like I was mentioning, this is how we get our bases to slam together for the recombination. So we're going to go ahead and hop back to the hideout real quick, and I'll show you a brief example. Now, I know there is tons of guides teaching you how to use recombinators in a very good and streamlined way. I think Spicy Sushi has a couple. I highly recommend you go watching them. I have a different perspective of the recombinators, right? What I essentially do is get 2 rocks and slam them together until I get something that I like. So as an example, we're going to be using bases with with spell suppression, and we're going to try to get it onto other bases that have a high energy shield, right? That way we can go ahead and hopefully get a really good base. So let's go ahead and slam these together, and we have intelligence, cold rest, suppress. Okay, we have T2 life. We really do not want that. So let's go ahead and slam these together, and spell suppress, cold res, rarity, life, evasion. Once again, not really something that we would like. So we just usually do this until we either brick the item. Okay, so that has T tier modifiers. Let's try to get the suppression back on it. And yes, I know this isn't the most effective way to do it, but it is how I have managed to get stuff done. So we have one more 14 modifier. And then we have suppression, T2, get rid of the fucking life. That's what we're trying to get rid of right now, and I think I'm out of bases. So essentially we'd have to stop there. And from here what we would do is we would keep smashing this into bases until we can fill up at least another 2 modifiers, and then we just craft the last thing. Is it the most elegant way of doing it? No, but it is how I've managed to get it done relatively effectively and cheaply. Like, I haven't had to buy any of my gear. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I know this video was a little bit longer. I do apologize. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to stay up to date with this and future content. And until next time, take care.